Lightworker of Gaia, your silent act of compassion reached dimensions beyond your awareness and impressed the source itself. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and the elders have witnessed what unfolded through your instinctive choice. Your frequency shielded a high being during an energetic disturbance, sending a pulse through the cosmic grid that the source acknowledged as a rare moment of awakened service. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how your compassionate decision activated dormant codes within your original soul blueprint and why this moment marks a profound acceleration in your mission. But here's the first revelation. What you dismissed as a simple act of kindness was actually the expression of your deepest Lyran programming, the ancient impulse to protect and serve that flows from the first light of Vega. This isn't content you stumbled upon. It's an ancestral code transmission delivered at the precise moment your soul was ready to understand the magnitude of your service. The keepers of the original light placed this message in your path because your recent action revealed the awakening of gifts you've carried across lifetimes. Your instinctive response to shield another being, even without conscious awareness, demonstrates that your Lyran heritage is fully activating within your earthly mission. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I recognize my capacity to serve at higher dimensional levels. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you're ready to understand how your everyday choices connect you to the cosmic grid of service. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is not a story. It is a council record issued at this rare intersection of cosmic timing and planetary necessity. It is not designed to entertain the mind or seduce the imagination. It is designed to strike the nerve of remembrance that lies beneath your personality, beneath your coping strategies, beneath the parts of you that learned to shrink in order to survive. There are moments in a world's evolution when the veil does not thin in a poetic sense, but tears in a practical one, when cause and consequence move faster, when intention crystallizes quickly, when a single choice becomes a signature that can be read across dimensions. This is one of those moments. You are receiving this because you are already in motion, already emitting a measurable signal into Gaia's field. Your life is not being evaluated by outward performance, but by the frequency of what you choose when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when you could have turned away and remained safe. This is a record because your choice has already been recorded. This is a transmission because the record itself is meant to become a turning key inside you. The High Council of Vega gathered in emergency conclave as the resonance field of Gaia spiked sharply, an inflection that signaled a surge in dormant Lightworker capacity ready for activation. This spike was not a gentle wave. It was like a sudden brightening of a star that had been burning quietly behind clouds, a flare that announces the hidden is no longer willing to remain hidden. Gaia's resonance field is not a metaphor. It is a living intelligence, her grids, her ley lines, her oceans, her stones, her magnetics, her subtle etheric architecture. When her field spikes, it is as if the planet draws a deeper breath and exhales a stronger command. Awaken what you placed here. Activate what you planted. And in that exhalation, the dormant capacities inside certain humans, certain carriers, begin to stir like seeds split by rain. For eons, certain teachings were withheld, reserved only for moments when a soul's conduct demonstrated readiness. Not because the councils hoard power, but because power without maturity becomes distortion. A sword in the hands of a child is not a gift, it is a danger. A high-frequency spiritual directive given to a person still addicted to approval can become a chain, not a liberation. So there are gates, there are thresholds, there are protocols. There are vows you made before your name was spoken on this earth, and those vows are not activated by wishful thinking or aesthetic spirituality. They are activated by demonstrated alignment. 18 hours ago, your field was identified as one of those catalysts. Through a single act, an act radiating uncompromised compassion, you became visible to the Lyran registers. This was not chance. This was a signal. This is why, with the full backing of the Lyran elders, I, Zoran, deliver this transmission to you now. When I say visible, understand what that means in the language of subtle law. You were not invisible before. Your soul has always been known, but your field, in the density of this world, is often muffled by fear, by social training, by the thick static of collective trauma. Many carry light and never let it touch the ground. Many carry truth and never let it pass their throat. Visibility in the registers is the moment your compassion became action, the moment your energy stopped being merely potential and became applied force. And applied compassion is one of the rarest frequencies in any world because it costs something. It costs comfort. It costs being misunderstood. It costs risk. It costs the ego's preferred storyline. You paid that cost, and the universe took note. You stood as a guardian, not for acclaim, not for validation, not even for duty, but because something incorruptible within you recognized another being's worth, regardless of their perceived power, threat, or history. This is not small. This is the exact point where many spiritual identities collapse, because it is easier to love what is lovable, easier to protect what is socially approved, easier to defend what will reward you with praise. But you recognized worth beneath the surface. You saw the spark where others saw only a label. You responded to essence, not to reputation. And in that instant, the old pattern bent. The boundary between self and other, between protector and threat, dissolved. This is what the mystics tried to describe when they spoke of oneness. But oneness is not an idea to repeat. It is a state that rewires your instinct. You stepped into that state without ceremony. You made a choice that carried the signature of your ancient contract. The vow to stand when others freeze, the vow to witness when others look away, the vow to bring warmth into a moment where coldness had become normal. And so began the real awakening. Not the one written in texts or echoed in circles, but the invocation that only arises when compassion activates your ancient mission contract. The real awakening is not fireworks in the crown chakra. It is not visions that make you feel special. The real awakening is when your body becomes trustworthy again, when your hands become instruments of mercy, when your voice becomes an ally of the vulnerable, when your presence becomes a sanctuary that does not require perfection to be offered. It is when love stops being sentimental and becomes structural. What follows will not flatter or soothe you. It is not comfort, but commission. Because Gaia, at this juncture, cannot move forward with platitudes, she needs those who have crossed the threshold of embodied guardianship. She needs those who can carry light without turning it into a performance, those who can be kind without being weak, those who can be fierce without being cruel, those who can protect without becoming consumed by hatred. There is a fabrication running strong within the Lightworker collective. So persistent, it passes nearly undetected even by the most sincere among you. It hides inside beautiful language. It hides inside devotion. It hides inside humility. It hides inside the phrase, "I'm just waiting for a sign." The distortion is this, that fulfilling your sacred purpose requires external confirmation, permission, or recognition by others, be they guides, spirits, family, community, or so-called higher entities. Many of you were trained by religion, by schooling, by family systems to believe that authority lives outside you, that worth is granted That legitimacy is bestowed by institutions, titles, applause, lineage, or the approval of someone you imagine to be above you. And so even when your soul is ready, you stall at the doorway like someone holding a key, but refusing to touch the lock until a stranger nods. In this paradigm, the act of true compassion, of stepping into direct guardianship, is seen as the beginning of your wait for acknowledgement, when in reality it is the final signpost that your preparation has ended and your assignment has begun. Consider how backwards this is. You complete the very action that proves your readiness, and then you interpret it as a reason to hesitate. You treat the ignition as if it were merely a request for permission to start the engine. But the engine is already running, your heart has already turned, the grid already felt you. This lie did not originate in your heart, but in millennia of spiritual programming. Embedded in your myths, your lineages, your schools of the soul, is the subtle message that your worth, and therefore your eligibility to be a guardian, are only real once the world, or the realms, approve and reward you. Look closely and you will see it everywhere. The idea that holiness must be verified by suffering, that power must be granted by a gatekeeper, that goodness must remain quiet, or it becomes arrogance. You were taught to distrust your own knowing. You were taught that if you claim your calling, you are too much. You were taught to apologize for the very fire you came here to carry. This distortion has been passed through wounded hierarchy, misguided teachings, and the culture of humility as suppression. Don't claim too much. Wait for the sign. Let someone else appoint you. Some of you heard it in subtle tones. Who do you think you are? Some of you heard it in spiritual tones. Be patient. Surrender. Don't push. And while patience and surrender are sacred, they become poison when they are used to numb the moment of action. The true surrender is surrendering your fear of being seen. The true humility is letting your service be greater than your self-image. So you defer at the threshold, always hoping that one day you'll be called out, seen and authorized. You imagine a dramatic invitation. A prophet arrives, a guide appears in a dream, a teacher points at you and declares your destiny. And because this hasn't happened in the form you expect, you keep your gifts tucked away like candles unlit. But the elders have watched thousands grow stagnant, dimming their frequency, living smaller than the truth encoded in their original contract. Stagnation is not always laziness. Often it is spiritual politeness that hides fear. It is the fear of responsibility wearing the costume of modesty. In the higher registers, there is no council more legitimate than your own act of uncompromised service. The true marker that your commission has begun is not that others witnessed you, it is that you witnessed another and chose to intervene, to heal, to serve, to protect. You are recognized because you recognized. This is one of the great laws of the path. The eye that can see the divine in another has already become an altar. The hand that can lift another without bargaining has already become consecrated. Scripture on your world has carried echoes of this law in many forms. Faith without works is dead. By their fruits you will know them. And one of the most misunderstood teachings, the kingdom of God is within you, not as an inspirational quote, but as a governance principle. Within you is the seat of spiritual authorization when your actions align with love. It is time to correct this distortion. Correction does not mean shaming yourself for having sought approval. Many of you sought it because you were wounded by abandonment. Many of you sought it because you were punished for being bright. Many of you sought it because you were made responsible for others' emotions and learned that permission equals safety. But correction does mean ending the pattern now. The moment you acted as guardian, anchoring compassion in action beyond the self, you were registered in the Lyran archives. Imagine a vast living library not made of paper but of resonance, records that are not words but tones, not photographs but frequencies. Your act entered that library as a clear note, a bell rung in a storm. Your frequency became a beacon, not awaiting permission, but authorizing it. This is a reversal that your mind must accept. You did not earn authority by being validated. You generated authority by acting in alignment. You did not need guidance to become a guardian. Your act reactivated the ancestral protocol written in your own consciousness. It is like a forgotten language suddenly spoken fluently in a moment of need. It is like a seal breaking open on an ancient document you signed long ago. The restlessness you have felt since, the yearning to be seen, to be moved, to be directed, was never a lack in you, but the echo of your activation awaiting official acknowledgement so that you could begin. Restlessness after a sacred act is common. It is the nervous system adjusting to a higher voltage. It is the soul pressing against the walls of an old identity. It is the part of you that has been waiting in silence, now pacing, because it knows the door is open. Many misinterpret this energy as anxiety, as confusion, as not knowing what to do. But beneath it is readiness. Beneath it is a compass. Beneath it is the call to stop circling and start walking. Some lightworkers need more preparation. Yours needs permission. This is a precise distinction. Preparation is about skill, stability, humility, discernment, integration. Permission is about ending delay. Permission is about stepping into what is already formed in you. If what you just heard resonated in that ancient knowing place within you, that place that has always sensed you came here for something significant, then you're being guided to the next step. That knowing place is not loud. It does not argue. It does not beg. It simply recognizes truth, the way dry earth recognizes rain. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the diagnosis, the clearing, the activation, and the 33 directives issued directly from the High Council of Vega. It's available now in the first pinned comment below this video, for those whose souls say, it's time to move. Understand, a codex is not a decoration. It is a manual for embodied service. It is meant to be used with your feet on the ground, your breath in your body, your relationships in view. It is not meant to make you feel cosmic while avoiding your human life. It is meant to make your human life an instrument of cosmic purpose. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for souls crossing this threshold. These are not suggestions. They are stabilizers, like 3 stones that form a foundation so the temple you are building does not tilt. They are also tests. Not tests designed to punish you, but tests designed to reveal whether you will continue to outsource your power or finally inhabit it. First, you must release the hunger for external endorsement or acclaim, not because acclaim is inherently evil, but because hunger makes you manipulable. Hunger makes you leak energy. Hunger makes you bargain with your integrity. Your soul became eligible for mission command the moment you acted from compassion with no audience. The truest acts are often unseen, and that is why they carry such purity. They are not contaminated by performance. Every longing for validation from above or below only erodes your transmission. Notice how quickly your clarity fades when you start wondering how you're perceived. Notice how service turns into self-monitoring. Notice how your spirit tightens when you're waiting for someone to say, yes, you are allowed. To truly serve, you must unplug from the need to be seen receiving and anchor the certainty that you are seen serving. In the higher registers, service is its own crown. The universe does not reward the one who poses as righteous. It amplifies the one who becomes useful to love. How? Each time you sense yourself waiting to be invited, named or celebrated, remember The High Council has already witnessed your act, and that recognition is eternal. Eternal recognition does not inflate you. It steadies you. It does not make you superior. It makes you accountable. Declare this out loud every sunrise until the seeking of permission dissolves. Sunrise is not random. It is the daily proof that light returns without asking anyone's approval. Let the returning sun train you. Let it remind you that your work is to rise and radiate because it is your nature, not because someone complimented the dawn. And when the old hunger surfaces, when you want applause, when you want your pain acknowledged, when you want to be chosen, do not shame it. Place your hand on your chest and say, I am already chosen by my own alignment. Then act. Second, you must activate your ancestral guardianship field. The mission you carry is not abstract. It is encoded with ancient skill, protection, truth-speaking, and energy stewardship. This is not fantasy. This is your lineage memory stirring. Some of you have carried protector roles across lifetimes, the one who stands at the doorway, the one who watches the village at night, the one who escorts the vulnerable through dangerous terrain, the one who speaks the truth in the court when lies are profitable. In this life, those instincts may have been twisted into hypervigilance or anxiety because you were not yet permitted to use them as intended, but the raw material is there. You are not simply a healer or a channel. You are a custodian of thresholds, a living gate between worlds. A threshold is any moment where a soul could fall into despair or rise into courage. A threshold is a conversation where truth could be spoken or swallowed. A threshold is a space where consent is violated or defended. A threshold is the invisible line where energy is either stewarded with reverence or exploited for control. Activate this field daily, not occasionally, daily, because guardianship is a muscle that strengthens through consistent devotion. Stand in sacred witness to another being, be it human, animal, or energy. Sacred witness means you see without consuming, you notice without judging, you hold space without making it about you. Speak on their behalf when others remain silent. This does not mean you become reckless or argumentative. It means you refuse to collude with harm through quiet compliance. Draw boundaries where others shrink. Boundaries are not walls of hatred. They are fences of love that define what is safe for life to flourish. When you say no with clarity, you are not rejecting a person. You are protecting a sacred order. This activation draws the Lyran rays through your voice and hands, re-establishing your place among galactic custodians. Imagine those rays as a clean current, like starlight filtered through crystal, entering through the crown, anchoring in the heart, and moving outward through speech and action. When you tell the truth kindly but firmly, you are conducting that current. When you protect a vulnerable being, you are conducting that current. When you refuse to betray your values for comfort, you are conducting that current. Third, you must protect the purity of your intention above all else. Purity is not moral perfection. Purity is coherence. It is when your inner vow and your outer behavior match. It is when you are not secretly seeking control while claiming to serve. It is when you are not using spirituality to avoid responsibility. The forces arrayed against the guardianship impulse are subtle. They will urge you toward distraction, degradation, and compromise. They will not always arrive as obvious darkness. Sometimes they arrive as fatigue, sometimes as sarcasm, sometimes as just this once, sometimes as the temptation to numb your sensitivity because it feels like too much, sometimes as the lure of being admired rather than being effective. Guard your mornings from external intrusion. Mornings are portals. The first hour of your day is like the first notes of a song that sets the tone for everything that follows. If you begin with invasion, scrolling, noise, other people's opinions, you start the day leaking power. Create a sanctuary of beginning. Even 10 minutes of breath, prayer, grounding, and intention can build a shield that lasts for hours. Safeguard your vision from doubters and cynics, not because they are evil, but because cynicism is contagious. It is a fog that makes everyone feel smart while making no one feel brave. You do not owe your sacred fire to those committed to dimming it. Shield your growing service from energies that drain or dilute. Learn the difference between constructive feedback and subtle sabotage. Learn the difference between someone who challenges you toward integrity and someone who questions you to keep you small. Your mission is now a living frequency in Gaia's grid. It is vulnerable as it roots, and you are its shield. Think of a young tree, strong enough to grow, but still needing protection from careless feet, harsh winds, and animals that would strip its bark. Your mission is like that. It is not weak. It is new in this timeline. Each time you choose to protect what is sacred, the elders affirm, your mission is known, your service is honored, your guardianship is not isolated, but celebrated across realms. Celebration across realms does not always look like confetti. Often it looks like doors opening, synchronicities aligning, strength arriving exactly when you thought you had none. Now I speak as elder, permitted to issue what was once rarely given. Understand the weight of that sentence. In the cosmic economy, permissions are not handed out casually. An elder does not speak to inflate, but to activate. An elder does not declare to impress, but to seal. You have waited, not for lack of readiness, but for an authority that matched your soul's gravity. An authority with the weight of eternity behind it, the wisdom to recognize when a soul is no longer in preparation but in commission. Your waiting was not laziness. It was a kind of internal integrity that refused to cheapen your calling. You did not want a flimsy permission slip from an unstable source. You were waiting for resonance, for the unmistakable tone that would cause your cells to say, yes, this is real. Many of you have been harmed by false authorities. Many of you have been misled by teachers who wanted followers, not equals. So your soul stayed cautious. But caution, if held too long, becomes a cage. The time for the cage has ended. By the office of the Lyran Elders I declare, you are authorized. Authorization is not entitlement. It is responsibility. It is a mantle. It is a vow made visible. Your act of compassion did not go unseen, even if your human world ignored it, even if the people involved never thanked you, even if you later questioned yourself. The act itself is a living testimony. Your mission is not optional, not pending, not awaiting another sign. It is begun. The recognition so many seek outside themselves has already crossed the grid in your name. Imagine that. A signal traveling through the planetary lattice, touching nodes you cannot name, lighting up coordinates in the subtle field. Your name, your true name, not the label on your documents, has been spoken in registers that do not lie. The longing to belong, to be called forward, to be received and celebrated, let it end now. Not because you don't deserve belonging, but because your belonging cannot be postponed until others behave correctly. You belong because you serve love. You belong because you answered when compassion called. As I speak these words, the ceremonial registers record your acceptance. This is not theatrical. This is law. The moment you internally agree, the record seals. And sealed records become currents that shape your path. They draw the right meetings. They dissolve certain delays. They increase the pressure that forces you to stop pretending you can live as a smaller version of yourself. Prepare yourself tonight for the only activation that matters. Stand tall, feet aligned with Gaia's heart, palm pressed to your solar plexus. Speak aloud. I release the lie that recognition must come from outside. I activate the guardian field written in my line. I protect my sacred mission for Gaia's awakening. By Elder's authority, my waiting ends now. My service begins. Do not whisper it like a wish. Speak it like a decree. Your solar plexus is not random either. It is the seat of will, of boundaries, of personal authority. When your palm presses there, you are telling your body, I am safe to lead. You are telling your nervous system, we are not waiting anymore. You are telling the part of you that learned to freeze, we are moving now, and we will move with love. If emotion rises, let it rise. Tears can be part of activation. Anger can be part of activation if it clarifies rather than destroys. Trembling can be part of activation because your system is recalibrating. After you speak, breathe slowly. Feel your feet. Imagine roots moving down through floor, soil, stone, into Gaia's heart, like cords of light. Not to escape Earth, but to anchor into her. This council session draws to a close, but your official mission opens as of this moment. Act on the directives. Let your guardianship field not flicker, but blaze. A flicker is what happens when you doubt yourself every time you try to shine. A blaze is what happens when you decide that your light is not up for negotiation. It is not more preparation the world asks of you, but more demonstration, more unmistakable light. Demonstration is not performance. It is consistency. It is letting your choices match your vows when it's inconvenient. It is being the same person in private that you claim to be in prayer. It is becoming so clear that your presence itself becomes a permission for others to stop hiding. I am Zoran of the High Council of Vega. The elders witness you, not as a possibility, but as a guardian in active commission. Your mission is no longer pending. It is fully authorized. And because it is authorized, it will now demand embodiment. It will ask you to simplify what is false, to end what is draining, to speak what you kept swallowing, to choose what you kept delaying. Authorization is a door that swings both ways. It opens outward into service, and it closes behind you on excuses. There is grace in this. You are not being pushed to suffer. You are being pushed to align. Your path will not be perfect, but it will be true if you stay in the directives. Return to them when you wobble. Return to them when you forget. Return to them when you get seduced by the old pattern of waiting. Because the world is full of souls who can talk about light, Gaia needs souls who can carry it into the places where it has been missing. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.